Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. UFC Mexico just ended. And this was an interesting card. I feel like there definitely some events to talk about, some robberies, some confusions, some chin cracking, and fraud checking overall. So let's begin. Let's talk about the first fight on the card. Marquel Mederos versus Austin Hubbard. Guys, I picked Marquel Mederos, as did you, and as did the judges that put him on their parlay or whatever, they had him on, because even he himself was shocked that he won. The first question DC asked him was, "Do you think you did enough to win this fight?" And he was like, I won. That's all that matters, right? Anyways, so to be honest, it just seemed like Austin Hubbard was the better fighter. Like, Marquel Mederos kind of looked a bit flustered and confused out there. Like, the entirety of the second round, basically, Austin Hubbard was just kind of sitting on Marquel Mederos' back. Almost submitted him, I think. And the fact that they just unanimously, or sorry, I guess it was a split decision. They gave it a split decision to Mederos, but yeah, in the third round too, like, I just felt like Mederos was like one step behind all the time. So I am kind of shocked at this decision. Felt like a bit of a robbery, but obviously nobody cared because they all had, obviously it seemed this was the case, that they had Mederos on their parlays. And it was the first card of the night. I was like, okay, let's let this one slide, whatever. Anyways, let's move on to the next one, guys. Jamall Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. Ooh, the mustache man's mustache did not help him. I picked Gabriel Miranda, guys, and I picked him because he just looked like... He just looked more alive at the weigh-in, And the thing is, he had a good moment in the beginning of the first round. He looked like he was going to get a submission, honestly. And, that was the end of his luck for this fight. Because he proceeded to then get dropped. He stayed alive, though. He fell on the canvas, but he stayed alive. And then, I think he just got some, like, instant CTE because he, he decided to keep it on the feet. Like, he got KO'd in round one, like, really towards the end. But I was wondering the whole time, like, why didn't he just keep his distance? Wait for, like, round two to recollect himself. But no, he, like, stayed within jab distance and just, like, got himself KO'd. I don't know, maybe it really is just that his brain turned to mush after he got dropped like that. It's a little bit sad, though. Yeah. But anyhow, let's move on to the next one. Rafa Garcia versus Vinc Pichel. Old Man Vince. Old Man Vince really tried, I will say. I think Old Man Vince needs somebody, who fights at his pace to win a fight. Old Man Vince actually had some pretty good counters, I will say. Like, he's not a total grandfather, and he's still got it, I think. It's just that he's fighting Rafa Garcia, who is really kind of relentless and much higher output. And also, he, like, dropped Old Man, like, he picked him up at some point and just smashed him on the ground. Like, I just feel like Old Man Vince can't really compete with this kind of energy. And yeah, he lost a unanimous decision. Not much more to say on that. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Loopy Godinez versus Julia Polastri. So, Loopy Godinez started off strong. Like, basically immediately got a takedown. Really demonstrated the difference in, like, power and strength. Yeah, Julia Polastri, like, had no answers for this in rounds 1 and 2. That's basically what happened in round 1 and 2. Like, Godinez took her down and just kind of lay on top of her. Nothing really happened with it, but it didn't really matter because this is women's MMA, and as long as you get the takedown and stay on top, you get the points. And then finally, like, something awakened within Julia Polastri in round 3. She was like, you know what, bitch, I've had enough. She starts, like, answering back. Like, finally we start seeing some combinations. She's walking her down. Loopy Godinez obviously, like, has no defense for this. Like, has no defense. She's just eating these shots to the face. And yeah, you know, I wish we could have seen some of this earlier from Julia Polastri, but I think something had to, like, awaken within her for that to happen. But yeah, something I noticed about Loopy Godinez is just that she's not very creative. Like, even on the ground, you know, like, she had these takedowns, and I feel like she could have, you know, gotten a submission, but, like, or, like, you know, just tried something different, like, adapted her approach on, you know, what was happening in the moment. And she just, like, doesn't really do that. And she just doesn't have, she can't really adapt. I think that's why she's not that great on the feet either, is that she can't really quite mold herself, like, to the current situation, you know? So yeah, I mean, she still won because she just did more overall, but hell, I would love to see Julia Polastri in, like, some future fights. Now that we know that she has, like, some anger within her that she can release, it just takes something, you know? So, yeah, I mean, she had some solid combinations. She really did. Like, it was enjoyable to watch. It really was. You guys can't tell me otherwise. It was enjoyable to watch towards the end. Okay, let's move on to the next fight, guys. Christian Rodriguez versus Melquizael Costa. This is an interesting one because I think I missed, like, the first round of this, where the chat was saying that Christian Rodriguez had taken that round, I'm pretty sure. Costa looked pretty good in the second round. I feel like he was winning those exchanges. But in the third round, it kind of seemed like Christian Rodriguez was winning the exchanges. However, Costa won the unanimous decision, which I guess is interesting. Like, he actually wasn't expecting that because he wasn't the Mexican, and I felt like the Mexican judges were kind of biased towards the Mexicans. However, it does seem, though, that they just had Mederos on their parlays and not that they were that biased towards the Mexicans. Anyhow, this was a good scramble between the two. It was mostly grappling. Melquizael Costa is, like, so good at just, like, rolling out of these submissions as if it's nothing. Very impressive. He's just, like, doesn't give up that easily, you know? This was a unanimous decision, but honestly, like, I'm not sure if I was watching this fight closely enough, but to me it seemed like more of a split, you know? Anyhow, let's move on to the next one, guys. I feel like that also wasn't the most interesting fight on the card. Jose Daniel Medina versus Ateba Gautier. This was a shocking performance to me, in a way. Let me explain. Jose Medina looked like he did not belong there at all, first of all. Like, I don't know if why I did not get this vibe at the weigh-ins, but, like, seeing him in the octagon, like, he just looked like some guy that they fucking found at a bar who was like, yeah, I'll fight this guy. I can win, yeah. And, like, he was just so much smaller and so much fatter and just, like, could not do shit. And he just got himself KO'd, of course. He had no chance. Like, no chance. When I saw him immediately in, like, in the beginning seconds of the first round, I was like, oh no. Oh no. I definitely missed out on something huge during the weigh-in because I just feel like, how could I have made this pick? But Ateba won with no problem. I don't know if it's because Ateba is that good or if, like, we'll never know because, like, Jose Medina looked so bad. Like, he looked so bad. He looked terrible. So, maybe against someone like his own size, it would have been fine. But like he was like, dude, Gautier is built like a beast. He can't just have, like, a regular opponent, you know? Anyways, yeah, Gautier won that, obviously. And he's one of the scariest looking dudes I've seen in middleweight. So Anyhow, let's move on to the next fight, guys. On the main card, Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. What happened here? Like, why did Ronaldo Rodriguez not grapple at all? I don't know what kind of training team he had, but like, why did they only teach him wheel kicks and spinning back fists? Because he only had wheel kicks and spinning back fists for us. Because it's like, even when he was like a foot away from Kevin Borjas, he just thought that like, oh, you know what I need to do here? I need to do a wheel kick. Yeah. And like, just like his thigh would land on Kevin Borjas, and like his heel would kind of like wrap around and hit his back. Like, what was happening there? Why? And why he kept trying these kicks? It was driving me insane. Anyhow, very strange situation, but that also doesn't take away from the fact that Kevin Borjas looked so smooth on the feet. Like, he had this like Andre Fili-esque kind of like dance thing going on. Like, he was just looking so smooth out there, like really just showing superior boxing, which also surprised me. Like, if Borjas is boxing this well, why are you not getting takedowns? Isn't that how he won his last fight? He got a submission or something. Like, why did he not even try? Was he on pills or something? Like, what's going on? Anyways, yeah, that's a very strange situation. It really is, because I just feel like he could have just shot for one takedown. Like, he could have attempted. Unless we watched separate fight. Like, did he not shoot 0 takedowns? He shot 0 takedowns. I'm pretty sure. He shot 0 takedowns. Anyways, guys, let's move on to the next one. Sometimes things just don't make sense, you know? The next one, David Martinez versus Saimon Oliveira. Saimon Oliveira didn't look that bad up until he got caught with a right hand, you know? In round 1, he just got caught, and Martinez had excellent follow-up. Just like, you know, hit him a few times in the head and then just got him with the knee. Oliveira fell, and that was the end of that. We had Mark Goddard shut the whole thing down. And yes, Martinez got the win. Very cool. Let's move on to the next one. Nothing else happened in that fight. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. So Raul Rosas Jr. did not get a finish. He could not finish Vince Morales. I think he like almost finished him 4 times, but like he was always too high up on the back, and he couldn't like quite get his hand where he needed to be, and Vince Morales didn't really let him get to the position he was trying to get to. And at the same time, Vince Morales also like almost finished Raul Rosas Jr. twice with like a Peruvian necktie, both times same style of submission. And the second time too was like at the end of the 3rd round, which is kind of like not a good look for Raul Rosas Jr. because had that fight not been had the clock not stopped, like I don't know how long his chin would have held up, you know what I mean? But the first time with the Peruvian necktie, like I was shocked. I was like, holy shit, how is he surviving this thing? But I think it's just the fact that he's 20 and he has like a crazy chin. That chin is OP. That chin is the strongest chin. I don't know. It's just there's something. I wonder what it is. Like with what is that, an underbite that he has? Like I wonder what kind, like how this might benefit him in a situation like this. Cause I feel like it's I don't know. I feel like it's awkward to like get your arm underneath there. But anyhow, yeah. In the 3rd round, Vince Morales almost submitted Raul Rosas Jr., but the clock stopped, and we'll never know. Either way, Raul Rosas did more overall within the fight, so he got the win. We'll see what kind of opponent he gets next, I guess, because like I don't think Vince Morales is like top level competition, but also at the same time, Raul Rosas Jr. is 20, so like I think he still is going to like grow into his body, and his hormones are still changing, his brain is still changing, so we will see what happens with him. Anyways, let's move on to the next fight, guys. Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. Oh my god, guys. Speaking of people on pills, I think CJ Vergara is on pills. I think the whole time this guy was like fighting his own fight. Like I don't think he was fully with it. I just remember like at the blink of an eye, Edgar Chairez somehow like wrapped himself around, like managed to like wrap himself around CJ Vergara. They ended up on the ground and like then CJ Vergara just tapped because he got squeezed and squished. Like, okay, good job. Excellent win for Edgar Chairez. He got really emotional about it in the end. Maybe he didn't expect to win like that successfully. It was a pretty solid win for him. Yeah, CJ Vergara just like, even I'm looking at his photo now on the UFC website and I'm like, is that even a real person? Like, what's going on? Anyways, maybe I'm totally tripping. Let's move on to the next fight, guys. Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. R.I.P. Drew Dober. This was a really bad fight for him, guys. Drew Dober got cracked. Now I'm starting to realize there's been a lot of round 1 finishes actually altogether here. But guys, round 1, Manuel Torres literally boinks Drew Dober's chin. Okay, like he boinks the right side of Dober's chin with his right arm, with his right hand, and Drew Dober just falls. Or was it his right? I don't know. Pretty sure it was his right hand. Anyways, I'm pretty sure it was right hand. Drew Dober just falls back, like falls down, and then like as he's trying to get up, I guess he grabs onto Manuel Torres's leg for dear life, and just holds it. He holds it until Manuel Torres smashes the back of his head enough times for Mark Goddard to stop the fight. I think it was Mark Goddard. Anyways, I don't think Drew Dober is going to be the same after this. I don't think he's going to be the same. First of all, that knockout, he got up after that, like, he forgot, he didn't even know where he was. He didn't know what happened. But also, like, so that must mean, like, the initial knockout was bad. It was bad. But then after that, it was followed up by a bunch of shots to, like, the back of the head. You know what I mean? Not all of them, like, directly to the back of the head. They were, like, around the ear area. Most of them, but that's still very bad. I don't think his chin will ever be the same. I think his Lego face got fucking smashed. His Legos got crushed. And I don't know if it will ever be safe to pick him to win ever again, honestly, after something like this, especially because he's been kind of losing. I mean, against good competition overall, but this is not the loss you want, you know, and not in this kind of way. So anyhow, let's move on to the next fight, guys. The last one, the main event, Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. I picked Brandon Moreno. I felt like Steve Erceg just didn't have enough rage for this fight, and that kind of was proven. Although he did kind of have some moments. I think round 1, Brandon had a really good start. He looked so slick. He basically, like, he looked so good that I don't think, like, Erceg was really able to, like, get any sort of momentum going. And, yeah, he had good defense. Anything that Erceg was throwing, Brandon was basically blocking with his gloves. And at the same time, like, Brandon was landing a lot of his shots. He just looked really good overall. And then, like, for some reason in round 2, he just kind of, like, stopped. It's like he forgot about his form. And, like, Erceg slowly started getting more comfortable. I think round 2 is the best round that Erceg had. I think he managed to get, like, he won in terms of how many significant strikes he had. And overall, I think he looked the most confident in that fight. And then round 2, like, Moreno kind of, like, picked himself back up, but still, like, not he didn't look as good as he did in the first round. And overall, he was kind of missing a lot more of his shots in general. So, this also wasn't the worst round for Erceg. Some people were saying that they think he won the third round. I don't know that he did. he didn't do as bad as the first one. Didn't do as well as the second. He just did a little bit worse, you know. And then round 4, also same situation. I think Moreno did a little bit better. I just think Erceg was finding success and comfort in the fact that Moreno wasn't looking as good. Like, you know, I think he was just trying to preserve his energy. Maybe that's what it was. He was trying to preserve his energy for 5 rounds. Maybe he started to understand that, like, okay, this is gonna go 5 rounds, so maybe I should, like, change my approach. But yeah, also I think, like, at the end of the 5th round, Moreno got a takedown and basically finished the fight on top of Erceg, which also gave the fight a definite, like, Moreno stamp. Like, he definitely won the fight. Yeah, I was saying this on my stream, but I just don't think that, like, Erceg is ready for, like, I just don't think I think he has a ceiling, and I just don't think he's going to be fighting, like, top tier competition, because he just doesn't have, like, I just don't think he has it in him to, like, really inflict pain on another human being. Like, I just don't think that's his jam, and I don't think he has the capacity for that, you know? I think he maybe would make a great coach, like his dad, but I don't think that he's, like, really fighter material, you know what I mean? And we've been seeing this, like, we've seen this energy against the Pantoja, and even now, like, he doesn't have that, like, you know? So he lost, but he tried, you know? Like, I can't really say anything bad about him. RIP. I do think Brendan Moreno won. I think Erceg should just I really think Erceg should just, like, stop trying to, you know, I prove something, and I just think he should teach students MMA. I think that's what he should do. I think he should be a coach. Anyhow, guys, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to play the bowl. And yeah, okay. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by and listening to my thoughts, my recap. Overall, I think we had a pretty good stream this week, and I will see my members tomorrow, Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and everyone else, I'm going to see you on Friday for the vibe picks for next week, and yeah, that's it. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.